There's a ski of attention by Neisser. Neisser is one of the most influential cognitive psychologists that dates to the 50s also. And you can tell a lot of these studies are pretty dated, but listening especially go back to the 50s. But he offered a completely different concept called schema theory. And this idea of a schema is you have sort of a scaffolding or an idea of a framework of things, of a concept that you know. So for instance, if we all went to a baseball game, those of us that are familiar with baseball would remember things about the home runs and the balls and the strikes and the junk food and the 9 innings and the 7th inning stretch and if anybody hit a home run, those sorts of things. They're all part of a baseball game. People that might have visited from Switzerland wouldn't form those same memories. They don't have a schema for baseball. So that's the idea behind it, is you've got a framework, something to pin memories onto. So Neisser argued that we don't filter, attenuate, or forget unwanted material. We just never pick it up. We never pay attention to things that don't fit the schema. So this metaphor of apple picking, the stuff that we look at is like apples that we pick off a tree. We grasp it. Other things are analogous to the apples we don't pick. We just assume the unpicked apples are filtered out, if you will, of our grasp, etc. So here's the experiment. Neisser and Becklin performed a relevant study of visual attention. They created a selective looking task by having participants watch one of 2 superimposed films, and the figure shows what happens. One film showed a hand game, 2 pairs of hands playing a familiar hand slapping game that you played as kids. And the second film showed 3 people passing or bouncing a basketball. Participants in the study were asked to attend to one of the films and press a key whenever a target event, like a hand slap, happened. And here are those depictions of those things. You got the superimposition on the bottom of the hand slap and the basketball game that was going on at the same time, one superimposed on the other. So the idea was that participants could follow the correct film pretty easy, even though they were superimposed on each other. And even when the target rate occurred often at 40 times per minute in the attended film, they often ignored occurrences of the target event in the unattended film, the one they weren't watching. They also failed to notice unexpected events in the unattended film. For example, participants monitoring the ball game failed to notice that in the hand game film, one of the players stopped hand slapping and began to throw a ball to the other player. They just don't notice it. So Neisser believed that skilled perceiving rather than filtered attention explains this pattern of performance. And, again, I think of what happened at this. I went to a concert on Thursday night, which is pretty rare for me to travel on a weeknight like that. But I think of all the musical instruments and the things that people play and all the things that are common to a concert. And I'm just looking for those things as I attend, and as is the case with a baseball game. I append those things to memory. And so on the Super Bowl this coming Sunday, February 11th, I'll attend to the national anthem and all the pomp and circumstance that goes on in the halftime show, etc., because I'm looking at those things, looking for those things. And if I'm not looking for them, then I won't have the propensity to put them in memory. So if I were watching curling, the sport in the Olympics where they slide a heavy object down the ice, I have no idea what I'm looking at there. I don't understand how it works, and I just wouldn't append much to my memory. So these people, they're able to pay attention to the right video, and even though another video shows remarkable things, they don't even see those things. And we'll discuss that here in a second with this inattentional blindness.